So, this is Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio, first live chat. Looks like I'm going to be doing this one solo, on a solo tip. If you can see and hear me, say something in the chat. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on. Assume there are people out there watching, listening, and I am going to start off with topic of Ortiz, Luis Ortiz. Let's get some music in the background. Okay, right. Okay, Luis Ortiz. I posed a question earlier on. What would be a low ball offer from Ortiz? And I didn't know at the time, but somebody got in the chat and let me know that it's been reported that Ortiz there had been a release of how much Ortiz had been offered. And the offer was $5 million. That's $5 million. I said anything above 3 was a good offer. It turned out to be 5 mil. So Luis Ortiz declined the fight on the basis that it was a low ball offer. Now, $5 million to me is not a low ball offer. That was a good offer, but Luis Ortiz decided to decline that. I'm just going to type something in the chat here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so Luis Ortiz declined a $5 million offer. What say you, the boxing public? Reasonable or unreasonable for Ortiz to decline $5 mil to face Joshua at Madison Square Garden? Was that reasonable of him? Was that unreasonable of him? Okay, now moving on from that, next step. Was it Ortiz? Do you feel it was Ortiz who declined? Or do you feel Ortiz was willing to fight, but was following orders from above, from Al Heyman? Did he have to decline? Did he have a choice? Was there any choice in the matter? Tommy Temper, I see you. Hey, Tommy, what's the sound like? 1 2 1 2. What's the sound quality like? Am I audible? So, continuing on, was it Ortiz who decided to decline? Okay. Oh, yes, my man, Scarcity Studios. My man's in the house. Fellow Brummy. Tommy Tempers got back to me. Sound is good and clear. Okay. Respect, guys. Respect, guys. Anybody I missed? Yes, that's good. Okay. So was it Tito Ortiz? Tito. I always call him Tito. Who's this? Man, my vision. Yes. Big Banana in the house. Loud and clear. Respect to that, my friend. Respect to that. Okay, so I'm feeling good now. There's people in the house. There's people in the house. There's people in the house. Loud and clear. Right, I feel good. Tommy, we'll sort out the thing, and I'll try and get the Google Hangouts and link you in next time. I appreciate your assistance and support. Okay. Ortiz, Tommy Temper asks, how much was Ortiz offered? Well, it's been confirmed, Tommy, that Ortiz was offered $5 million. So my question to the people is, was $5 million acceptable? Was that a reasonable amount? Bear in mind, Luis Ortiz's previous high purse was $500,000 against Wilder. $500,000. So if he'd have got offered $1.5 million by Hearn and Co., that would have been 3 times his previous high. Yeah? If he'd have got $5 million, that would have been 6 times. Sorry, $3 million, that would have been 6 times his previous high purse. Yeah? So was it reasonable? Was it reasonable for Ortiz to turn down $5 million? I say, personally, I say that's crazy. I say that's crazy. Yeah, damn, that was a duck. I thought they would offer him half that. Yeah, exactly, Tommy. I thought half of that would have been the starting offer. Yeah, 2.5 would have been plenty. $2.5 million would have been plenty for Ortiz, but they offered him $5 million, and he turned the $5 million down. Now, to me, that's ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous and bizarre. Okay, so there's three possibilities in my mind why Ortiz turned down that money. Now, the first possibility was, did the man have PEDs in his system? I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't. It's a question. Did the man have PEDs in his system? Performance enhancing drugs. That's a potential reason. Another potential reason is Heyman's orders. I want to get into this. Now, Al Heyman is waging a war against certain competing promoters, including Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom, including Johnny Skipper's The Zone. Now, it seems very clear that he's not allowing his people to go over to cross the road. He's not allowing people to cross the road. Yeah, so yeah, the heart meds, Tommy, the heart meds. Yeah, the heart meds, the blood pressure meds. Heyman isn't allowing his guys to cross the road to make potential profits for other promoters. If that hurts the fighter, then so be it. So one potential reason is PEDs in the system. The second potential reason is Heyman's orders. He's supposed to be an advisor, but it's clear that Heyman is the big boss player. He's the big boss. The third reason that I can identify is Ortiz potentially shook? I don't want to believe that he's shook of fighting Joshua, but the question has to be asked, is Ortiz shook? 1, PEDs. 2, Ortiz, Heyman's orders. 3, is the man shook? Okay, right. So I'll let people discuss that or chat about that. Topic 2, Amir Khan. Let's talk about Amir Khan for a second. Amir Khan got low blowed, received the low blow, and quit the fight, or retired from the fight, or declined to continue fighting. Was that a duck or a legitimate stoppage? Was that a duck or a legitimate stoppage? Yeah, going back to the previous topic, it could be all 3, Tommy. It could be all three. So, Amir Khan, was it a duck or a legitimate stoppage? According to my eyes, what I saw him get hit on the upper thigh. He got hit on the upper thigh by Crawford. Now, yeah, the most I could have done is give him a dead leg. So, gets a dead leg. He has 5 minutes to shake it out. Now, interestingly, Khan says that he didn't know he had 5 minutes. I stopped following boxing for a long time and was watching and involved in training in mixed martial arts. And it was a 5-minute break. The same applies to boxing. So when I came back to boxing, I knew it was a 5-minute break for a low blow. Amir Khan has been involved in boxing has to be the better part of 20 years. And Khan is suggesting that he didn't know he had 5 minutes to recover. Yes, Peds in the house. PED in the house. Peds, I know you got to be a ped expert, bro, so it's good to have you in here. Yes, so let me see what's being said here. What? Nice one. Let me see what's being said here. Tommy Temper says Khan was looking for that fight, didn't want it, and the 5 minutes. He's looking out. Yeah, sorry. He's looking for an out. He was looking for an out. He didn't want that 5 minutes. Some people have said, I thought it was 2 minutes. I thought he took 2 minutes out to decide. But people are telling me it was seconds. People are telling me that he took seconds out. Yeah? Like 30 seconds. I find it hard to believe. I'll give him 60 seconds. But he took like 60 seconds to decide that he couldn't continue. He was in that corner. He was in that corner for a while, looking all distressed when like he got hit to the testes. But there was no hit to the testes. It was to the leg. He was hit to the leg. And then I saw him talking to someone outside of the ring. Turned out to be Virgil Hunter, his trainer. And yeah, you could see he was way out. He was looking for a way out time. And then the official came up on the ring apron and said to the ref something about Virgil said it's over. And then Khan looked at him, said to the ref it's over. And the ref said, are you sure or whatever? Waved it off, and Khan breathed a sigh, a deep sigh of relief. A deep sigh of relief. It was over. Now, continuing on the Khan thing. It's interesting. Now, first of all, let me get in the chat. Let me see what's going on. Yes, Ped, salute. Tommy Temper says it was low and might have partially hit the cup. Yeah, I agree. But it wasn't a direct hit. Punch him right in the... right, Ped. Ped says, all about the HGH and the endurable. Khan needed some endurable. Oh my gosh. Yo, he didn't need some endurable. He needed some heart. All that Khan was lacking was some heart. Yeah? That's all he was lacking, some chicken heart. He should have eaten some chicken. Listen, I got a turkey the other day. Yeah? And they had giblets in there. And I looked at this thing and I said, damn, that's a turkey heart. Yeah? If only Khan had eaten some turkey heart or some chicken heart, he would have been good. But that's the only thing that the dude was lacking was some heart. He should have eaten some heart before the fight. Ruiz. Who is it, Ruiz? Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Andy Ruiz. When they ask him how come he has so much energy with his punch output, he says he always eats a Snicker before every fight. He eats a Snicker. Well, Khan should have eaten some chicken heart. Yeah? Some chicken heart would have seen him through. So, My feelings on that is that Khan was looking. I mean, he's a Brit like us, so it's a bit hard to say, but the truth has to be spoken. He was getting outboxed, and in my opinion, he was looking for a way out. Virgil said, "Can you continue whatever?" Khan indicated no, and that was it. Fight over. Fight done. So that's my assessment on the Khan issue. Khan was looking for a way out. Now, interestingly, more on the Khan topic. Interestingly, yes, Ped says he's definitely looking for a way out. Interestingly, I read an article, I think it was on boxingscene.com, where Khan's new thing is that the fight was turning, the tide was turning just as he got a low blow. And he feels that it was a tactical maneuver on the part of the Crawford team, that if it started to get rough from them, they would go in for the low blow. So Khan is now suggesting that the low blow was a deliberate and a tactical strategic maneuver on the part of Team Crawford, and that the fight was just turning. The fight was 100% turning in his favor when the low blow came in. So that's Khan. You know, you can be delusional, like say Wilder. Wilder will tell himself a lie and then convince himself as the lie. So he's not really lying in his mind. He's just delusional because he believes the lie he's told himself. Whereas with Khan, I'm afraid to say it seems like just a straight up lie. Or maybe he's delusional. Maybe I should give him the benefit of the doubt and just say he's delusional. It could be one or the other. It's either a lie or he's delusional. But for him to say the fight was turning, the tide was turning, is utterly and patently ridiculous. Let me get back into the chat. Right, so yeah. Ped says he was definitely looking for a way out. Tommy Temper says, first time Khan's being outboxed, and I agree with that. And he's on his way to getting stopped. Yeah, it was the first time that I've seen Khan get outboxed. And he was surprised and shook at that. Khan admitted at the end of the fight, he said, I'm a good fighter, but Crawford is a great fighter. You know, and I think that's the most honest thing that Khan said throughout everything going on post-fight. It's the most honest he's been. It was an accurate assessment. He is a good fighter, a very good fighter, and he did reach greatness to an extent, but Crawford is a great fighter. Okay, what else have we got? Yes, he crumbled, says Ped, after getting dropped. Yeah. Getting dropped in the first round. Who saw that coming? Nobody saw that coming. Nobody expected Khan to get dropped in the first round. As a matter of fact, a lot of people expected Crawford to outbox Khan in the early rounds. A lot of people expected Khan to outbox Crawford in the early rounds. And then afterwards expected Crawford to come back. But so for Khan to get dropped in the first round like that was truly shocking and surprising to me as a viewer, and I'm sure it was shocking and surprising to Khan himself. Okay, so Ped says, let me see this. Ped says Crawford timing and speed was there. Khan bottled it. Yes, he did. I think it's blatantly clear. Khan was surprised. I was surprised. A lot of people were surprised and shook. Who expected Khan to get dropped on his ass in the first round? Nobody. I didn't expect that. Nobody expected that. Crawford, where we got now? Tommy Temper. Khan had limited success. He did have limited success. He did catch Crawford a few times with some half decent shots. A lot of them were glancing shots, but he did catch Khan. He did catch Crawford. But the thing is, to me, is that in a fight, both parties are going to get hit. It's an unrealistic expectation for any party to think they're not going to get hit. So Khan had his moments. He did. Can't take that away from him. But in a fight, you expect each participant to have a moment or two. Khan did have fleeting moments, very fleeting, but he did have fleeting moments. What else? Khan, limited success, but he's a pathetic excuse of a man now. He needs to man up. I mean, my philosophy on all this is that Khan needs to fight Brook, needs to fight Kell Brook, and, you know, both of them, I can't tell the next man to retire, but they need to have that fight and then consider riding off into the sunset. That's my position. Maybe a little bit harsh, but that's my position. Khan and Brook. Khan needs to accept the fight with Brook. Finally, should stop running from Brook, accept the fight, and win, lose, or draw, ride off into the sunset gracefully. What else we got in the chat? That's happening to Khan might make the Brook fight. I think so. I think so. That's happening to Khan. What happened to Khan, you know, when he quit, when he embarrassed himself by quitting, you know, he's got to redeem himself now, maybe. Maybe he'll see that he needs to redeem himself. He needs to redeem himself. And the best way for him to redeem himself is to go in against Brook. Go in against Brook and win, lose, or draw, consider riding off into the sunset. That's my recipe for Khan and for Brook. They've had their day. They've hopefully salted away a decent amount of money, retirement money, to see them through and take the fight. Kell Brook's ready. Khan needs to accept the fight, win, lose, or draw, ride off into the sunset. Yeah, that is my recipe. Before I move on to the next subject, let me just look and see what's happening in the chat. Right, what's happening to Khan? Right, that's happening to Khan might make the fight easier. Yes, I agree. Tommy Temper says I pay for the stream to watch Khan get KO'd one last time. One last time for the people, Khan. One last time for the people. Okay, so that is my position on the Amir Khan situation. I think we've covered that comprehensively. Okay, that was topic 3, but I got to it too early. Okay, topic 2, which is now topic 3. Who should AJ fight on June the 1st? I want you guys to just type your name in. Type the name of the person. There's people in here other than Ped and Tommy. So I want everybody, type the name of the person you wish to see AJ fight at Madison Square Garden in June. Type the name of that person. If you would. I'm just going to take a sip of this, or is it aloe water? Type the name of the person you want to see AJ fight in June at Madison Square Garden, if you would. Okay, no takers yet, so I'll go first. Okay, the first person I wanted to see AJ fight was Ortiz. But yeah, good question. Who's available? Good question, Tommy. First person I wanted to see AJ fight was Ortiz, but now it's become clear that with the political situation over at Premier Boxing Champions, that's not happening. For whatever reason, be it money, be it the politics, be it PEDs, potential PEDs, be it the potential that Ortiz is shook, be it lack of training, which I'm not buying for a second. He was ready for Wilder in 5 weeks. He's got 6 weeks to get ready for AJ. So I'm not buying that lack of training business. I want to see Ortiz, but he's out. Ortiz is out. My second in my video, who should AJ fight? My second choice was Kawanaki. Kawanaki. is it Adam? Is it Adam Kawanaki? I believe that's his name, Adam Kawanaki. Okay, so Adam Kawanaki quickly, indecently quickly, ruled himself out. He ruled himself out. So, without explanation, he just said, no, I'm not available. Boom, out. Now, there has to be speculation about the reason Adam Kawanaki has ruled himself out without explanation. There has to be some kind of explanation. There's got to be a reason why. Who's going to turn down millions of pounds, a heavyweight, the chance to be the heavyweight, unified heavyweight champion of the world, and you just say, no, I'm not ready, boom, when you're in camp with Miller. So he must have had a certain base level of fitness, because he spars long and hard. So you were in there sparring with him, Adam. You must have had a base level of fitness. Now, I'm not accusing the guy, but the question has to be asked. Why did Adam Kawanaki turn down millions of dollars, the kind of money he's not going to see for years to come, if ever? I think he will see it eventually. The type of money he's not going to see for years to come. Why would he turn that down just boom, like that? Why would he turn it down boom, just like that? Let me go in the chat, see what's happening. These guys don't care about the belts anymore. It seems that way, says Ped. These guys don't care about the belts anymore. So that's bad. So Adam Kawanaki rules himself out. That was my second choice. And then I had a wild card. People respond to my wild card, but it didn't make sense because they wanted an American. I didn't think it through at that time, but I said Hughie Fury. I said put Hughie Fury in there. Hughie Fury, he was last out with Pulev. That was his last outing. His eyes got stitched up. His forehead got stitched up. So he's good. I said put Hughie Fury in there. But that didn't really fit because they wanted an American. Okay, fine. My choice after that was Ruiz. Ruiz Jr. What's his first name? I've forgotten. Andy Ruiz. So this was immediately after Miller got popped. I said Andy Ruiz was one of my choices. And it wasn't, no one was mentioning him. Let me see. Tommy Temper says Hughie would get Hughie would get put in a coma. Yeah, on reflection. On reflection, Hughie would get put in a coma. But you know what? Before he gets put in a coma, he would show some nice dance moves. He would skirt around the edge of the ring on the ropes, get the rope burn on his back like he did against Parker. So after the rope burns, then, yeah, the coma. Rope burns first, coma second. Yeah, most likely. Most likely. So after Fury, it was Adam Kawanaki. Now, Adam Kawanaki was not being spoken of. Nobody was speaking Adam Kawanaki's name. Not Kawanaki. Ruiz. Andy Ruiz Jr. No one was speaking his name. No one was calling his name. And then a couple of days ago, boom, someone messaged me in one of my videos and says, you was right, Raphie. They're talking Hunter. Hunter's going nuts. Hunter's spazzing out in his on his Twitter feed. And people are talking about that Andy Ruiz has now come into the frame and is looking like a favorite. So, how do I feel about Andy Ruiz? I prefer Andy Ruiz to Hunter. And for a few reasons. One of them is that Andy Ruiz has a greater pedigree in the heavyweight division than Hunter. Hunter's just come up from, cruiserweight. He's looking good, but he's just come up from cruiserweight. And Hunter and Ruiz has been in the heavyweight division fighting at a very decent level 2 years ago, fighting for the WBO heavyweight championship against Parker in New Zealand, and he lost to what I call a hometown decision. If that fight were anywhere else, it was a very 50-50 fight. If that fight were anywhere else, I believe Ruiz would have got the nod. I believe it was a hometown decision, and I believe if that fight were anywhere outside of New Zealand, Ruiz would have got the nod. So effectively, let me take a sip of my drink, but effectively what we're saying is, if that fight were out of New Zealand, Ruiz would have been the heavyweight, the WBO heavyweight champion. Let me go in the chat, see what's happening. Tommy Temper says Andy Ruiz would be a good fight. I very much concur. Ped agrees. Some say he beat Parker. Yes, well, I say he beat Parker. I watched the fight at the time or shortly after, the 2 years ago. I watched the fight and I believed, and I think I said so at the time, that Andy Ruiz, in my book, won that fight. Ped says Ruiz only lost to Parker by a decision as well. Yeah, that's right. It was a decision. It was a decision loss. Ped says it was a hometown decision. Yes, I agree. Leighton, Evelyn. Yes, Evelyn. Leighton, good to see you, my man. Good to see you in the chat. Yes, good. Some more faces showing up. That's nice. So, Leighton, I'm just saying that, as a matter of fact, Leighton, you just come in. Who do you want to see Anthony Joshua up against on June the 1st? I've said, gone through my options. Yes, Leighton. Who do you want to see, Leighton? Who do you want to see Joshua up to? Joshua against on June the 1st in Madison Square Garden. I'm saying it's Andy Ruiz. And I'm also saying that if Andy Ruiz had fought, Leighton, Ortiz was the first choice, but he's declined. Ortiz got a $5 million offer from Eddie Hearn and declined that. Team Ortiz was saying they wanted $10 million to fight Joshua. Yeah. Now I'm sorry, but in my view, that is a duck. So, like I was saying, if the Parker Ruiz fight had taken place anywhere outside of New Zealand, Ruiz would have been the world champ. Let's follow that logical conclusion. If Ruiz is world champ, that means Ruiz would have ended up fighting. 10 is a piss take. Ruiz would have ended up fighting Joshua in Wembley instead of Parker fighting him in Wembley. Yeah? Ruiz deserves to be in there, as far as I'm concerned, in there against Joshua. He should have been up against Joshua a year ago instead of Parker. Now he gets his chance. I hope he gets it. I hope Ruiz gets his chance to face Joshua. I think it's only fair. It's about time. And why do I prefer Ruiz over Hunter? Ruiz is more established in the heavyweight division. Hunter is just a newcomer to the heavyweight division. Ruiz has some of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. Ruiz is a volume puncher, much like Miller. He's a volume puncher, much like Miller. He has faster hands than Miller. And I would dare to say that Ruiz is a harder puncher than Miller. I would go as far as saying that Ruiz could be a better fighter than Miller. So my conclusion is I want to see Andy Ruiz against Joshua. Okay, now Leighton says, okay, let's look at the chat. Leighton Evelyn says 10 million is a piss take. I agree. Ped agrees. Ped says that's pricing out. It's totally pricing yourself out. And furthermore, I'll go as far as to say that, respond to this in the chat, please. I say that Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, The Zone should not entertain any more discussion with Ortiz. I say cut him off. Cut Ortiz off. He's a allegedly 39-year-old guy. You know, I've often made the joke that Ortiz was Jack Johnson's bucket boy. Yeah. So I don't believe he's 39 at all. You know, he came over from Cuba, you know, the Cuban passport, just put a number down, and boom. What is that? Is that it up? Oh, I'm 39 now. Okay. No, I don't think the fella's 39. I think he's probably one of the best veteran boxers ever, because that guy's deep into his 40s, in my opinion, deep into his 40s. This guy, Ortiz, has had an opportunity of a lifetime, $5 million, an opportunity to fight for 3 of the belts, and he's turned it down. Now, whether he's turned it down or his advisor turned it down, to me, it's immaterial. It's immaterial because it's his life, it's his career. If he really wanted it, he could have pressed his so-called handlers, his so-called man, says, no, listen, I hear you, but it's my life. I want this fight. It's my life. I want this fight. So, and he apparently hasn't done that, or he hasn't done that successfully. So as far as I'm concerned, Eddie Hearn needs to just cut the guy off. Cut him off. Forget it. Cut him off. If he comes with his begging bowl a year down the line, so be it. Give him half. 2 years down the line, give him a quarter. Yeah, but this, I'm sorry, but it's a piss take. Let me go into the chat for a second. Okay, so, yeah, Andy Ruiz is definitely fast. He's fast. I rewatched the Parker fight the other day, says Ped. Yeah, absolutely. Leighton Evelyn says, yeah, I agree. Ped says either one more offer to please people or jack him. Forget him. Yeah, I agree. But what would that offer be? How much would you offer him? He's been offered $5 million. I actually read an article that says that Eddie Hearn says the discussion hasn't finished. I wish it was, because it's just too much piss-taking going on right now. But there's a possibility Eddie could offer him more. I agree with you. Be fair. One more offer. I say bump him up by $500,000, and that's it. But I really don't like dealing with these PBC guys. It's so drawn out. It's terrible. Back to the chat. I think he's going to rematch. Yeah. Tommy Temper says, I think he's going to rematch Wilder for pennies. Yes, I agree. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to do an expose. I'm going to look deeper into the matter to find out exactly what's going on over there at PBC. Because I know if I was in their shoes, I'd be saying, no, give me the money. Give me the money. The man over there has got the bag. I want the bag. I'm fighting. I'm a fighter. It's a short career. I want the bag. But something's stopping them. A deeper look into PBC is necessary. Ped, you could see it a mile away. It's all lining up. Absolutely. Leighton Evelyn. The Yanks taking the piss out of Eddie. I totally agree. Eddie and Joshua. Let's see Wilder pay him $10 million. Exactly. Cut them off. Cut them off. Tommy Temper says, match what they offered Miller. And if he says no, then jog on. Well, yeah, they're $1 million away. Some people say they offered him 6. Some people have said 8. I don't think they should match what they gave Miller. Although I can see an argument to say they should. I can see the opposite, but he did not. If Ortiz was in the spot, if the fight was made from the beginning with Ortiz, he wouldn't have sold it as well as Miller. I detest the way Miller went about it. I detest the way he disrespected the man's family. I utterly detest that. But he did sell the fight, so you have to give him credit for that. He did sell the fight. He made people hate him. He made people want to see him get his head knocked off. So he was successful in that regard. Ortiz wouldn't have done nothing. Ortiz would come there, sit down, mumble a few words. Then his trainer, Jay Jimenez, or manager, Jay Jimenez, would have spoken for half an hour, saying Ortiz said this. No. Ortiz wouldn't have sold the fight, so I don't think Ortiz should get paid what Miller got paid. On the flip side of that, if that money is already set aside for that payment, then yeah, fair enough. But on the flip side of that, Ortiz wouldn't have sold the fight. So it's not about your credentials. It's largely about how well you sell the fight. It's about how well you sell the fight. And Ortiz doesn't sell fights. He just doesn't do that. But yeah, I can see both arguments. Right. Yeah, Tommy Temper said, I can see both arguments. Yeah, Leighton Evelyn says, they're not boxing fans, they're PBC guys. They're not. They've admitted it. I think I did a video where they said, listen, we got basketball, we got tennis over there. Yeah, one guy even said tennis. He said Serena Williams is playing on such a date, and Dan's have got this fight on such a date. And then one guy piped in. I'm pretty sure I recorded that video. I haven't watched it back for ages. One of my early videos. And one guy says, yeah, you know, there's some booty hunters out there. There's some booty hunters out there. Well, yeah, you'd rather watch Serena Williams' booty than go and see a boxing fight, man. Record Serena Williams' booty and watch the boxing. That's what I say. Record it. Record it for prosperity. You can always rewind, slow-mo, you know, reverse, all kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? Respect to Shiz Biz in the house. Yes. Yes, yes. Good to see you. Yes. Right. What else we got? What else we got? We will see AJ. We will still see AJ Miller. Gloves are off. Will we? Oh, sorry. Will we? Well, that's a question I've been asking. I should do a video on it. Will we see it? I've heard somebody say we're not going to see it now. Who said that? Was it Adam Booth who said it? Yeah, someone definitely said we will not see the gloves are off. But on the flip side of that, I said I wanted to see, but on the flip side of that, apparently all it was Miller going on about AJ's on peds. As a matter of fact, that's the reason to see it. Yeah, the irony of it. Miller was banging on about AJ being on peds. So yeah, now I think about it. Yeah, we should see that. Hopefully there's somebody in the studio, some studio guy, some little studio intern will just kind of, you know, make a quick copy of it. Boom. You know, download, memory stick, boom, you know, and upload it on somebody else's channel, and we will get to see it. That should happen. We should see that. We should see Miller mudding up himself. We definitely need to see that. Right. What else is being said? While the fanboys would have streamed the yeah. Tommy Temper says, while the fanboys would have streamed the fight anyway. And I concur. They don't buy fights, you know. That fair enough. They have to pay their rent first, probably behind on their rent anyway. But whatever, you know what I'm saying. Rent's supposed to be pretty cheap over in Alabama, so I hear. I know there are a bunch of deluded people. I don't understand. It's hard to understand delusion. Yes, Fireman is in the house. Yes, yes, yes. Good to see the old names, the old faces from the other place. Fireman is in the house. All good over here, bro. All good over here. Yeah. What else we got? They'll use that in court as evidence of his pet. Leighton Evelyn says they will use the gloves are off episode with Miller as evidence in court to to support his use of and support it as evidence of his PED abuse. Yes, yes, yes. Ped says, I hope it comes out. Yeah, like I said, they need a little young guy who just got in there, you know, to the studios where they filmed it, get his memory stick out, boom, memory, download, boom, boom, you know, yes, boom, copy it, boom, get one of his mates' YouTube channels, create a fictitious, a YouTube channel under a false name, boom, download that shizzle, and we will be happy to see Miller muddy himself up, poop himself. It'll be hilarious. The irony of it will be that needs to come out. Now you mentioned it, that needs to come out. PED says, Raphie, the stream is going well for the first run, bro. No glitches. Ped, I am very happy it's going smooth. I was supposed to have Tommy Temper on, but I am not the most technological guy. Believe it or not, back in the day, I went to film school. Back in the day, I filmed, wrote, edited a few short films. By short film, that means from 1 minute to 10 minutes back in the day. And now, because I have not messed with the technology for so long, I am a imbecile when it comes to this new technology, my mate. Hate to say it, but it's true. But I'm going to have to take some time out of my busy day. I'm a working man, I'm a family man, but I'm going to have to find some time to get myself more acquainted with the technology, and then I'll be bringing people on. I want Tommy on as a guest, various people I want to get on as a guest on various different shows. Right, so what are we saying? Who should AJ fight? Yeah, Andy Ruiz is my choice. The argument against Andy Ruiz is that he's a big... Who the hell's calling me? And why? This time of the night. The phone's over there. I can't get it. Ignore that tone. I have to get that later. Right, so... Yeah, Ruiz. Yeah, the thing going against Ruiz is that he... One second, guys. I got to get that call. Okay, yes. The thing going against Ruiz is that he is a... What's his name? Butterbean. His body resembles butter beans. He's a butterbean light shape. First of all, let me get in the chat before I continue with that. 1 second. Let me get in the chat. Yeah, Miller will shrink once he... Tommy Temper says Miller will shrink once he's off the peds. Tommy, I don't know. Once he's been messing with those peds, it's going to throw his whole... I work in the fitness industry, by the way. Once he's been messing with those peds, it's going to throw his hormonal balance off. If anything, I suspect he may get bigger and fatter. If he's been messing with testosterone, that's going to shut his own testosterone production down. But there was no testosterone on the list of peds, on his peds. So he may have avoided the testosterone. Testosterone injections are easily detected. So he may get away with that. But once you're messing around with testosterone, it messes up your own production. So I don't know. I think it's gonna throw his own hormonal balance out. He's gonna be whacked out when he has to come off all that stuff called turkey. He's gonna be a mess. He's gonna be a mess. But I'm presuming they're gonna give him 2 years, or at the very least 18 months, 6 months for each substance. That's the least I can see them giving him. So it'll take him 12 months, I think, for his body to fully recalibrate from all that shit that he was ingesting, pushing up his ass. And then he'll have 6 months to be fully clean and work with his own body's production of testosterone, etc., etc. So yeah, it's going to take him that whole band period that he gets, 18 months minimum. It's going to take him that long for him to get his body functioning back naturally. Okay, let me go into the chat. Yeah. Oliver Twist, boxers begging Bo for more. Leighton Everin says, I've seen you tell that fool BFTV. You can't argue, stupid. Yeah, it's tough to argue with that guy because he screams over you, so it's very difficult. It's very difficult. What we got here? Leighton Everin, booty call. Yeah, he's been shoving that stuff up his booty. No doubt about his booty must look like a pin cushion. Ruiz will not get close to Joshua once he feels the power, says Leighton Everin. Well, I want to see that. I really want to see that because that's the thing. Ruiz's style is a go-forward style. So what's he going to do? Go on his back foot now? Go on his back foot? I really don't know. He's got one way of fighting, and that's going forward. He's going to get pinged. Ruiz is going to get pinged. But also, he's going to be putting some shots in on Joshua. AD is in the house. Yes, AD in the house. Right. So Tommy Temple says HGH, human growth hormone, is an anabolic steroid. Human growth hormone doesn't come under the umbrella. It comes under the umbrella of a steroid, but it's not technically speaking a steroid. The human growth hormone is something that's produced in the body itself. What the HGH does when you take it in is it stimulates the testes to release more testosterone. It does more things beyond that, but it is in. You see, HGH is provided in, is given in, what do you call them? Rejuvenation clinics. HGH, human growth hormone, is rejuvenating. It assists the recovery of the body in its daily functions. It assists development. It assists growth. So as people get older, human growth hormone is almost like a youth pill in small medicinal doses. Obviously, a bodybuilder is going to take a ridiculous doses oftentimes, and then I think I said in the video, they can experience skull growth. The jaw can actually grow, jut out. The hands can grow. The feet can grow with ridiculous amounts. So yeah, that's what human growth hormone is. This is where. Yeah. Hey, Ped says this is where the future is. Respect for that, Ped. Respect for that, AD, for being in here. Respect to all of the guys. Tommy Temper, Leighton, Evelyn, Ped. Oh my, we got Ludivicious Murray. Bro, yes. I don't know how to pronounce that first name. Lud, I'll work on it. Yeah, so going down, but good to see you in here. Going down the chat. Yeah, Leighton Evelyn says, Miller's a walk-in heart attack. He is. He's already obese. It doesn't matter whether you're big with fat or muscle. If you're overweight, obesity is obesity. 18 months, Tommy Temple says 18 months is in line with Canelo's punishment. I wouldn't be happy with 24. I would be happy with 24. Yeah. You know, I don't know. There's a sympathetic part of me that says 18 months is fair and 2 years is a little bit too much. It's not. 2 years isn't too much at all. 2 years is fair because what he did was he was shoving a load of stuff in his ass, performance enhancers in his ass. But there's a sympathetic part of me that says, just let him have 18 months. Let him have 18 months. But in reality, you could argue for 3 years. For me, there's a sympathetic part of my nature that says, let him have a chance to come back, give him 18 months, and then come back hard on him. That's me. But 2 years would be fine. It'd be reasonable. 3 years would be reasonable. You know, you could say 1 year for each substance. Do you know what I'm saying? You could say that. But I say 6 months for each substance. Let this be a lesson to all boxers, and then get sterner, then get harsher. Push it up to 1 year per substance. You know? Yeah, you had multiple substances, Ped. Ped, yeah, that's all a fact, says Ped. Rich Piano was a perfect example. I didn't know you know about Rich Piano, Ped. I was big into watching his Bigger by the Day. And I think I'm going to make a video on him, even though it's a boxing channel. We all have other interests outside of that. So you, Ped, know about Rich Piano. I was thinking about making a video about Rich Piano because a lot of people don't know him. And now I am going to make a video about Rich Piano. I was watched almost every episode of his Bigger by the Day. He got married, for people who don't know, he got married to an Icelandic chick named Sarah. He was about 40-something. She was 20-something. Then it comes out that she was stealing from this big bodybuilder full of injections, full of synthetic muscle as well. She was robbing from him. She was stealing from him. Then it turns out that he was actually, his lifestyle was so lavish and whatnot. He was actually, and he used to say he was a stock. He used to get his money from stocks and shares and whatnot. Then it turns out that for whole his adult life, bodybuilding life, he'd been a drug dealer. You know, so he's just a massive story. I will do a video on Rich Piano. It's not boxing, but fascinating nonetheless. Miller was looking to start in the new Marvel movie. All that shit he was on. Yeah, you know, and still fat. I don't know. Still wasn't doing his cardio. How'd you like that? How do you like that? You see, that's the problem with peds. People don't use them to get superhuman, and what they do is they use it sometimes to compensate for a lack of training. So they take the peds and then train not as hard, which is ridiculous. If that man, with all that stuff that was in him, he should have been ripped up and cut up. He should have been good to do, you know, sprints, hill sprints, all of that. He should have been incredible looking, but I think he used the peds to compensate and not train as hard. It's crazy. It's mad. Ortiz doesn't want the fight, says Fireman. He said that he would fight AJ for any amount of money. Yeah, true. And now he says that the offer is a low ball. Yeah, that's ridiculous. He did say all of those things. Nah, ban him for life, says Leighton Evelyn. Make a stance. Yeah, there's that argument as well. And I'm not going to argue against that. There is that argument. It's a perfectly good argument. If I was in a jury and they said that, you know, I couldn't object to that. It's harsh in a way, but then maiming someone in the ring is harsh as well. So, boom. He thought if I was going to get caught, might as well get famous for getting caught. Juicing. Yeah. I'll make the menu, said Miller. Big Farmer. Yeah. You know? So he said, yeah, in for a penny, in for a pound. You might as well get hung for a sheep as well as a lamb. So, yeah, totally, Ped. I hear that. Shiz Biz. He's a repeat offender. Ped says, R.I.P. Rich. He was cool. Yeah, there were certain things I liked about Rich and certain things not so much. He was 100% a character. He was a bit mental, but he was a character. He was clearly mental, but he was a character. He entertained me. Leighton Evelyn says they might make him grass up everyone he knows is on it. Kawanaki is his stablemate. He's bang on it too. You know, I have to make a video on Kawanaki because he's been too quiet. Kawanaki's been too quiet. He was quick to decline. He was too quick to decline. And he's too quick to, it's too quick to decline. And he's been quiet. He's been stumm. And he has all the same characteristics of Miller. I don't know when we're going to see Kawanaki again. You know, has he got shit in his system? Has Kawanaki got shit in his system? I need to know. Information for liberation. Says Ped with a question mark. Now I'm questioning. Information for do you mean information or liberation or information for liberation? That's an interesting one. I'm going to ponder that. That's like a brain teaser, Ped. Yeah, Ped. Miller looked fat and bloated. He did, says Tommy Temper. He did look fat and bloated. I don't know. I don't know. He's taking all that shit and look fat and bloated. I don't understand it. Ped, it's possible, says it's possible. Ped says it's possible, Leighton. What's possible? I'm not sure. I can see it, bro. Okay, I've missed a few steps here. Ban him for life, make a stance. Yeah. Says Leighton previously. I think that's what's going on there. Right. Kawanaki currently in Poland. Detox. Maybe Kawanaki's in a detox clinic in Poland. I don't know. Yeah. Make sense. Yeah. Just heard Ross B in the house. Just heard that Ortiz was offered $5 million, still turned it down. 10 times his highest payday. Correct, Ross B. Correct. That's what I'm saying. Ridiculous. Leighton Evelyn, Kawanaki hiding in the Amazon. Kawanaki's hiding in the Amazon. Yo, he's probably got his phone on him. If he's got his phone on him, they can track him down. Did anybody see the film Night and Day? I don't normally watch Tom Cruise films, but he was Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz, Night and Day. He told his chick to keep her phone turned off. That was Cameron Diaz. They were in the Amazon. So they were in his little hideaway. He had his own little island, hideaway, tropical island. She left the phone on because she was expecting a call from a sister who was getting married. And helicopters came over from the bad guy. Yeah, the bad guy's helicopters came over. So when you tell your chick to turn her phone off, don't trust that she's turned her phone off. Take it from her politely, make sure it's off, or else the bad guys might come. Yes, you heard it here. Guys, it's been 1 hour and 1 minute and 50 seconds. Let's giving it Ortiz. Let's giving it Ortiz should have been offered. Nessie's saying Ortiz should have been offered 10 mil. What the? That guy, man. That guy. Right, is there anything else I want to cover? Anything else I want to cover? AJ, yeah, I said who I think it is. I said who I think he should be fighting. He should be fighting Ruiz. Andy Ruiz Jr. Okay, that's who he should be fighting. What else is there? What have anybody mentioned anything that they feel is germane to the subject matters we're talking about that I haven't covered? Anything germane? Yep, his argument is at a late notice. Okay, let me read this. Russ B says, yes, Nessie's argument is that it's a late notice fight, and because Miller was getting 8 mil, Ortiz deserves more. You deserve more. Deserve more. No, well, you see, my counter offer to Ness is that, well, Ortiz wouldn't have sold the fight as well as Miller did. Even though Miller was obnoxious and rude and out of line, he did sell the fight. Ortiz does not have the ability to do that. I've never seen him sell a fight. Which fight have you ever seen Ortiz sell? Ortiz has never in his life sold a fight. So therefore, there has to be value in someone who can sell a fight. Let's say that value is 2 mil. Let's say that value is 2 mil for someone who can sell a fight. Let's say 2 mil of the alleged 8 that Miller was getting. Let's say 2 of that was for his ability, at least 2 of that was for his ability to sell the fight. Should that 2 now go to Ortiz? I don't think so. Ortiz should get deducted money because he wasn't a part of the build-up. So you can argue he should get more and you can argue he should get less. I argue the 5 million is 10 times his previous high payday is ample reward. Ample reward. So, yeah. Ample reward. It's fair. It's reasonable. If they bump it up, give him 5.5, bump it up to 6. That's more than enough. More than enough. People saying he got 8 million. It's been said. Some people said that Miller was getting 6.5. If they bump it up to 6, I'll be fine with that. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm comfortable with 5. I really am comfortable with 5. Get Ruiz in. Ruiz is younger, fresher. Who's to say Ruiz isn't going to put up a better fight than Ortiz would? Ortiz has looked garbage in his last fight. Utter garbage. The man's aging. Everybody's getting older. Nobody's getting younger. I say 5 to 6 mil is ample reward for Ortiz. They're going to get Ruiz in and give him what? 4 mil? 3-4 mil? I'm comfortable with Ruiz. I'm comfortable with Ruiz. I don't need Ortiz's shenanigans. I don't trust him anymore. He's untrustworthy. We don't know what kind of shape he's going to come in at. I don't know. I really do not know. Let me read some of these chats finally before we call it a day. They keep talking about Leighton. I thought it was getting better, but he's back to his. Ped says Ness is on Heyman's payroll. Yes, can't disagree with that. I haven't seen his check. I haven't seen his bank statement, but you can't argue with that. Russ B. Ness is a PBC. Ness is PBC, bro. Yeah, well, Russ B. Says Leighton Evelyn. Russ B. Yep. His argument is it's late notice and because Miller was getting. Yep. Russ B. said that. Russ B. says, I thought he was getting better, but he's back to his old delusional ways. Speaking of Aquaman, Fireman says they keep talking about this outstanding resume of Ortiz. What resume? I agree, Fireman. What resume? What resume? Who is Ortiz's best win? He went life and death with Dave Allen, a novice Dave Allen. Right. He went 12 rounds with, who's that guy? Who's that guy who got knocked out by a phantom punch from Wilder? Malik Scott. Malik Scott, who went down to the phantom punch from Wilder. He went 12 rounds with him. Fireman says they keep talking about, yeah, read that one. Ted says he's on Heyman's payroll for sure, talking about Aquaman. Leighton Evelyn, Aquaman is LDBC, but won't admit it. Won't admit that they pay each other. Russ B says, I think Heyman blocked the Ortiz fight. Yeah, well, I think so too. I think he blocked the fight. I think any further discussion is nonsensical and a waste of time because I don't think he's going to take it. I don't think he's going to take a penny less than 10 million. If they offered him 10 million, I don't know if he'd take that. He'd come up with some more clauses. Just a waste of time. Eddie should not waste his time with this guy. Keep him talking maybe, but negotiate with Ruiz and some other guys. Hopefully Ruiz takes it. He's just got to keep it open. Leighton Evelyn, Aquaman, yeah. Russ B, I read that one. Russ B, I think Heyman blocked. Yeah, I think Heyman blocked the fight, says Russ B. Leighton Evelyn, LDBC is on payroll. Yep. Ped, Aquaman makes the narratives and puts the shows out, pushing it. Yeah, for sure. He's in Wilder's camp, definitely, all the time. He must be connected with the PBC. Well, you know, it's logical. It doesn't even bother me that much, says Russ B, that he ducked AJ. It's the fact that he tried to pin the blame on it. That's what they're doing. They're trying to pin blame. That's the whole PBC thing in the heavyweight division. Put the blame on AJ. Pretend as if you want to make a deal. Don't really want to make a deal when negotiations fail because they ultimately will fail because you don't want to make a deal with them. Then blame AJ. Yeah, it's character defamation. They're trying to smear the man's name, and that is not cool. Smearing a man's name without unjustly is not cool. Tommy Temper, does Heyman have any other heavyweights other than Wilder and Ortiz? Well, Ruiz is he's moved from Top Rank to PBC recently, not long ago, a few months. However, I think the reason why Heyman would let that one go through is because he looks at that as well. Maybe Ruiz can win. If Ruiz wins, he brings all of the titles. Even that might be unlikely. If Ruiz wins, he brings all of the titles to PBC. So I think that's why Ruiz or Heyman would let the Ruiz thing go through. LDBC have more money than sense. You get what you pay for, says Louis Maguire. New name in the chat, Louis Maguire. Fireman, Malik Scott, yes, he was the one who got put down by the phantom punch of Wilder. Punch skimmed his glove, and Malik went down like he'd been shot by a 45 caliber Magnum, 45 caliber Dirty Harry, fucking, gun, missile. Shiz Biz. Rivers beat Jennings. Yes, he did. That's Dillian White's next opponent, Rivers. Fireman. All these fighters want to come up off Joshua. They do, but how are they going to come up off it? They come up off his name without fighting him. That's what they're doing. These PBC guys want to come up off Joshua's name, not fighting him. How did Wilder get popular? Wilder got popular by talking about AJ. He didn't even have to fight him. Just by keeping AJ's name in his mouth, Wilder got popular. Wilder got popular by talking about AJ and not even fighting him. That's some new, different type of shizzle. That's some new shizzle. That is some new shizzle. They are trying to get the AJ lottery ticket. Yeah, but what they're doing, it's a new thing. It's a new thing. Raise your stock by talking about AJ and not even fighting him. That is a new level of the game. Raise your stock by talking about someone, pretending as if you want to fight him. Don't fight him. Talk about him for years. Talk about him for months, weeks, and months. Keep his name in your mouth and raise your stock. That is a new level of, I don't know what, deluding the people, messing around with the people, playing with the people, playing with people. Boxing fans are out here. They think negotiations ultimately bear fruit, and they're not going to bear fruit. It's like meeting a hot chick. It's like meeting a hot chick. She thinks she's hot. She looks good. She goes to the gym. She eats clean. Yeah, so she looks good. And she thinks she's better than you. She might be better than you. I don't know, but she thinks she's better than you. You think she's better than you. And so she's got this vibe about, well, what can you do for me? I can't give out. What can you do for me? Before I give you anything, I've got to know what you can do for me. So you think, well, I can take it to Paris. So you take it to Paris. She goes, oh, that was nice, but you know. And she goes, okay. And you go, okay, I can take it to Sydney Opera House. So she goes, okay. So you take it to Sydney Opera House. And then she goes, oh, that was nice, but, you know. And then ultimately, you're going to have to say, I can take you to the moon. That's blatantly obvious you can't take it to the moon. So at that point, she's going to dismiss you. She's going to tell you to do one. She's going to tell you to do one. So you spent all this time negotiating with someone who did not want the deal, to make a deal. Did not want to make a deal. Well, that's the equivalent with these guys, Ortiz and Wilder. They pretend as if they're down for a deal. They're pretending as if, yeah, if you come up with the right deal, then I'm down. But the reality is they're not down. They're never going to be down. It is not inconceivable. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Yes, what up? Greetings. Glad to have you in here. So you're trying to make a deal with someone who pretends that they want to make a deal, but ultimately have no intention of making the deal. That's my position. I think they have no intention of making the deal. So all of this negotiating, to my mind, is going to come to naught because ultimately they don't want to make a deal. But what they are doing is making a name off Joshua by keeping his name in their mouths. Just because, Ross B says, just because Al Heyman managed to delay the Pacquiao fight for years and cash out on it, he wants to do the same with Spence Crawford. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same blueprint. It's the same blueprint. But also, I think he's fearful that Crawford could genuinely beat Spence. I like Spence, but I think I probably like his style better than Crawford's style. I prefer to watch a Spence fight than a Crawford fight, generally. But I know that Crawford is full of skill. He's full of skill, man. Crawford's full of skill. Where are we? Leighton Evelyn, Joshua wants that belt. So then Dans gives Joshua world biggest pay and all heavyweights come to Dans and PBC. Know it. Yeah. So they're blocking that. Al Heyman's blocking that possibility. Yeah, Ross B makes a good point. In March 2018, Wilder had 300K Insta followers. He now has 1.8 mil. Yeah. And that's the time period that he's had Joshua's name in his mouth the most. That last belt, the green belt, makes history, and it's being withheld from the fans. Yeah, it's being withheld from the fans. Therefore, history cannot be made. But Joshua, Leighton Evelyn says, but Solomon must realize if Joshua gets that belt, he makes more. Well, PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, PBC, they have TV deals over in America. They have a TV deal with Fox and Showtime. So they have to service those television deals. They service those television. They have a stronger bargaining hand by having the heavyweight championship belt over there in America than not having it. So whatever shortfall Suleiman might be experiencing, I'm sure Al will compensate him. And that compensation is a favor. So wherever there's one favor, there's two favors, favor for a favor. That's why whenever Wilder fights a guy, he generally tends to be outside of the top 10. Call goes into Suleiman. You want this guy. Suleiman alters in the next ranking list that comes out. That guy moves up into the top 10 from outside of the top 10, and now Wilder has a top 10 opponent. So there's obviously some dealings going on there. There's some dealings going on there. Some deals. There is some deals between Suleiman and Al Heyman. One can speculate. That was from Leighton Evelyn. Yeah. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News says it's the first time tuning in. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, it's the first time you could have tuned in, my friend. It's the first episode. This is the first episode. And it's gone better than I would have expected. Got a lot of names I recognize in here and a couple names I do not. And it's great. I'm going to get through these comments. Yeah, good to have you on Rival Boxing. It's going to be every Wednesday now. This is the first episode. It's going to be a weekly thing. It's going to be one episode per week at first. I need to get myself acquainted with the technology, and then I'm going to move up to 2 a week. If the 1 a week is successful, which it already has been successful, because the chat has been flowing, people with opinions, expressing opinions. That's all I wanted. That's all I could have asked for. The next upgrade from that will be having guests on, and that will be the upgrade when I get technologically acquainted with the stuff which I will make myself technologically acquainted with in this coming week. So we'll make it even more dynamic for you guys. PBC is killing boxing, says Evelyn, Leighton Evelyn. Yes. I don't see how that could be disputed. They are. That's exactly what they're doing. They're holding belts for ransom. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Says that's Leighton Evelyn. Where else? Where are we? What do you think of Dubois Joyce agreeing terms, showing all these top? What? Hold on. Unrivaled Boxing. Is that a fact? Have Dubois and Joyce agreed terms? That must have been while I've been on air, because I didn't hear about that. Ped hadn't heard about it either. He says Dubois has. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. Next. Wow, I didn't expect that. Good fight, bro. So one of their O's, hold on, both of those guys are unbeaten, right? One of their O's has got to go. What do I think about that? I think it's a bit early for Dubois. That might be an unpopular view, but I think it's a bit early for Dubois. He didn't have to do this. But fair play to him. Yeah. Leighton Evelyn says, good fight. I got Dubois. I kind of got Dubois. But that big-ass Joyce, he can hit heavy, man. You get a headache. Dubois is going to walk away with at least a headache. That Joyce, man, he's got heavy-handed guy. Really is. Well, I don't know if Dubois, I don't know, but obviously Warren would have been behind that, and Warren knows what he's doing generally, most of the time. He knows how to plan things, he knows how to strategize. Raphie says they need to implement a WBSS heavyweight competition. Wilder would pull out. Wilder would pull out after he got matched up with AJ or White. Yes, he would. Unrivaled boxing. Yes. It's time heavyweight unified the division. Or the last time the heavyweight had a unified division was in '98. I think a lot of us haven't seen Undisputed take place. Yeah, I was around. If you're talking about Lennox Lewis, I was around. Big fan. Not a lot of people don't like him, but I was a big fan of Lennox. He was, yeah, no doubt. Right, Leighton Evelyn, impossible, bro. Pay so different in heavyweight. Joshua, never do it. Could do it. Something could happen. Wilder could slip up, fuck up, potentially. We never talked about Breezel. Should have talked about Breezel, but that's next time. Not going to do that now. Not going to open that can of worms. Yes, Leighton Evelyn said. Leighton Evelyn says, I will be here for the next installment. Yes, Leighton. This went better than I expected. People in here, people contributing, people chatting. It went better than I expected. It went as I expected, but obviously people don't always get what they expect. This is exactly what I wanted, rather. What was going to happen would be a different one. Unveil Boxing Talk and News says, I will be here, top man. I appreciate that. I totally appreciate that. Ped also, 100. I know Ped. I know Ped's always been on it. Ped, I think he was in the first video I made. I think Ped was one of the first people in there. I was like, and that wasn't that long ago, but it feels like, you know, it's developing. Ped's been day one. Leighton Evelyn. Yeah, it's on BT Sports. Unbelievable. I'm going to have to do a video on that. Unbelievable. I didn't think I'd do that. Tommy Temper. What do you think of Pac Thurman? Pac Thurman. I think Pac should hang him up. He's done it already. He's done everything already. Why? He should hang him up. I want to see boxers do the thing and retire wealthy, healthy, and happy. I don't understand why Pac's still going. I really don't understand. I do not understand. Unrivaled Boxing says, yes, they did, according to the British Boxing Board of Control. Okay. That's a very good source. July the 13th at the O2 Arena on BT. I think we're referring to Joyce and Dubois. That's crazy. Didn't expect that. Thought it was just going to be talk. Incredible. I'm surprised. Joyce beats him. His amateur pedigree would come into play and he'd outbox him. I'm concerned for Dubois. He didn't have to take the fight. I'm a bit concerned. You know, I thought that Joyce would have gone on to the European level and operated there, then moved from there to world level. I don't know how I feel about this. Big concern, mixed emotions. Great, very good fight, but I'm thinking, Dubois, really? You could have, I don't know. I expected Dubois to be English level or British level and Joyce to be European level. Seems like you're we're taking one of the guys out of the game that way. Although, I'll watch it. It's a money spinner to keep PPV alive. Yeah, says Leighton Evelyn. Yeah. Damn, I'm not sure who I'm with. Maybe Joyce. Yeah, exactly. Mixed emotions. I've got mixed emotions. Leighton Evelyn. Joyce too slow. Joyce is slow. But he still keeps on messing people up until he doesn't. You know what I mean? Real Boxing Talk, Raph. Yes, Leighton Evelyn. That's what I'm here to do. Tommy Temper, I got your back. Tommy Temper is down for the cause. 100. 100 day one peg. Yes. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. It's what champs do. Boxing Jedi. Okay, I'm getting messages on my phone, on my thing. Been a quality stream, lads. Yes, it has been, because you guys, top lads in the chat. talking boxing, and you know what is it now? It's 1:26. Didn't expect to be on so long. You know, I was having a headache trying to set the damn thing up. You know, got to get back into the technology, get guests on. Tommy Temper should have been on today. Didn't work out because, but I'll get it. 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 It's going to be it's going great. Brilliant first stream. Yes, Tommy. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Being quality lads. Ped says that. True. Brilliant talking without LDB. You know, my original concept was to have an LDBC antagonist, and that's still a part of the plan. You need a story. You need a stone in the oyster sometimes, you know? You need a stone in the oyster. But I agree with what you said, Ped. It has been brilliant talking without that nonsense. But, you know, we do need rivals, and we do need rivals sometimes. We need a little scrap. We need a little stone in the shoe sometimes. You do need a stone in the shoe sometimes. You need a stone in the oyster's shell sometimes. I can't remember why you need a stone in the oyster's shell, but I'll look at it. Don't worry, the LDBC will be here soon. Yeah, they will rear their ugly heads. They always do. But, you know, I think we're equipped. We're equipped for that shit. Pardon my expression. Guys, it's been fantastic. We've done 1 hour, 28 minutes. I didn't expect that. It went really good. Wednesday, make it a date from now on. Every Wednesday, looking around the 9:30 mark, 9:30, 9:45. Get here for 9:30. And we will be doing this weekly going forward. I will add more as time goes on, but for the time being, I think it's going to be one a week. I'm going to be tempted to be doing more because there's things that I want to talk about, and the short format of a video doesn't really cut it because there's always more that I want to say. So yeah, I will be doing more, but definitely once a week. I may do some impromptu ones, but I'll always inform people. I'll always do a video to inform you beforehand. But there's just sometimes, like the recent events of the last few days, last few days, it's made me want to talk and express it. And the short video form, you can only do so much. It's good because it helps you to be concise, but I think it's perhaps there is a need for more dialogue. And I think that this format, what do you call this, live chat? Yeah, a live chat. I think that fulfills the need for a lengthy dialogue. Where are we? Yeah, peace out, Unrivaled Boxing. Peace out, Ped. Peace out, Leighton Evelyn. Louis. Is that Louis or Louise? Is that Louis? That looks like Louise. Is that a female? Do we have a female in here? Are we being blessed by a female presence? Is that Louis or Louise? Please confirm, Louis. That looks like Louise. Louis? I don't know. Confirm that for me, guys. Male. Okay. Respect, Louis. No disrespect, Louis. No disrespect. Leighton, respect. Thanks for coming in. Ped, Louis, Maguire, Messi, Lingard, West Wagwan, big man. Leighton, Evelyn, Unrivaled Boxing. Yeah. Who have I missed? Ross B. Tommy Temper, of course. Totally 100%. Unrivaled Boxing again. Yeah. Ped, Leighton, Ross. Yeah, I think I've got all of you. Who else is there? Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I got to finish out to cut this thing off. Next week, Wednesday, 9:30 to 9:45. Any impromptu ones, I'll let you know. Peace out. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Subscribe. Thank you. I'm out.